Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. I know it's been a minute since we have last done an episode. Life has been crazy, but we're really excited to bring you our next episode today. We're going to be talking about the benefits of using a travel advisor, why you should be working with us, why you should not be relying on Google, anything Costco, anything where you work third party or just rely on social media and trust that everything is going to go smoothly. So, we're going to talk about the reasons why you should be working with someone today. Hey, vacation dreamers, welcome back to Book Solid, the podcast where two travel advisors share insider tips, talk about our favorite destination, bucket list experiences, and everything you need to know to make the next vacation unforgettable. We'll break down what's included, what to watch out for, and keep it real with plenty of laughs along the way while we help you plan with confidence. Let's jump in.
So on my list for the first thing is support you're going to get for your resort choice. One that fits your family, your vacation style, and your budget. For me, for all of my I have a call with clients before I send over any quotes to them. And we talk about that. What are they looking for? They're looking for convenience. Then I'm not going to put them in a resort, or I'm not going to share a resort that is not convenient to the parks. We're more concerned about the budget, then I can find them a fit in that area too. And I like to give potential clients, I usually do a video walkthrough of my quote. So then I'll talk through like the pros and cons, like this is why I chose this. And I usually give about 3 options. And then if anything, we can tweak it from there. And I never give the high and I never give the low because I want us to be able to move somewhere.
Yeah, it really just depends, what the family is wanting. That's why, at least for me specifically, when someone reaches out to me, I need to get them on the phone. It's a super quick, maybe 15-minute phone call. I just want to narrow down and really hear you over the phone say, hey, this is our dream vacation. We're looking for this. We want to be really close to this park. This is going to be our main priority. And to make the process go faster, if we're relying on emails and texts, and it's just going to delay the process. And if you know anything, Disney World, meh, it doesn't typically change prices until the end of the year when they roll out the new fiscal year. Universal almost changes daily. You never know when it's going to change. So if we're constantly delaying the process, trying to figure out, okay, what about we try this one? No, that one doesn't work. All you're doing is delaying the process and the chance of the price just continuing to go up. I've had it happen with a client who traveled literally just a couple weeks ago. They kind of booked a little bit last minute. Literally within the span of 24 hours, the price had gone up because that's what happens. And I even called Universal. I'm like, hey, is this the pricing you're seeing? Because it's already changed. And he was like, yep, it happens. We have no way of knowing when it's going to happen. So it just kind of helps speed up the process. And then that way we can move on to the fun stuff. It is the hardest part is narrowing down when you're going to go and where you're going to stay. That is the hardest part. So once we cross that hurdle, everything else is easy breezy.
Yeah, I usually say for sure I say 5 decisions: your resort, your tickets, when you want to go, and then if you want that dining plan or memory maker. Like there's some other little decisions, but those can be added afterwards for at least Disney World. For Universal, it's the express pass, what type of ticket you want. There's a little bit more that goes into Universal, I feel like, than Disney World with their massive amount of ticket options and express
Yeah.
passes to find what fits. But what's nice about Universal is it can be more customizable than Disney World. And you're not going to get that either booking directly, booking through Costco, booking through Expedia, to know that we really want convenience. We're worried about price. And all of a sudden you put yourself over at All Stars, which are great resorts, don't get me wrong, but you're planning to spend most of your time over at Magic Kingdom. That's a decent 20, 30-minute bus ride daily.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
way.
one way. So an hour on a bus there and back. Um, and I swear again, I love the All Stars are definitely a place for them, but they are often the buses that don't turn around as quickly too. If you're standing at Magic at the end of the night, you could see four Caribbean beaches before you see one All Star. And with littles, that's hard. It could be hard. So, working with somebody who knows those things, knows the layout of Disney World, and can help you kind of decide what, and could be a give or take. Maybe you only do 3 days so that you can stay at a moderate. That gives you a little bit more space.
I know
That's
you
what I
kind of
like.
mentioned it, so I'll bring up Costco because I feel like this is very much a talked about thing almost on a daily basis, no matter where you go. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and place to use Costco. I mean, I have my own membership, I go there all the time. We love Costco. I personally would not invest thousands of dollars into a vacation. I don't care if we're going cruising, all inclusive, a theme park. I don't care. Here is my issue with booking third party because you're not booking directly with Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, Royal Caribbean, whatever. If something were to happen, you have to go through Costco, then maybe Costco will do something. At the end of the day, they don't care. They don't care. They don't have your investment and like everything that you care about at the back of their head. They're like, who cares? Another thing to note when you book Costco, yes, you're going to get a great deal. We love great deals. We always want to save money. That is extremely important. I'm not discounting anybody who uses Costco to book their trips. That's great. Something to know, I've actually talked a client out of booking Costco specifically because I said, hey, do you realize that you are locking in these dates? You cannot change them and you have to pay majority upfront. Whereas, let's just say Disney World, you can modify as many times as you want. They obviously don't want to like disclose that. You can modify as many times as you want as long as you're within like before that final payment window. And you only have to pay a $200 deposit. If you're going Universal, it's $50 a person. Cruising gets a little bit different. It depends on the cruise line. But if you book Costco, it is non refundable. Good luck trying to get your money back because trips get canceled all the time. Things come up. What do you do? Good luck getting a hold of someone in customer service and getting your money back. It's not going to happen. I've heard so many horror stories of people, especially when it's hurricane season, when you have to cancel the trip because there's an active hurricane. People are fighting with Costco. Hey, I booked this trip. I can't go. There's a hurricane. They're like, okay, and but if you book directly with Disney, whether you choose to book it on your own or work with a travel agent, we can call Disney, Universal, the cruise lines. Hey, my client cannot travel safely to come to Disney World. Can we just move the dates? They'll be like, "Yeah, let's see what we can do." I feel like if you work directly with the suppliers, you're going to get the most out of it. They are going to care more about you than Costco, Expedia, all of those third party. They don't care. They don't. And they're not going to be able to answer your questions. If you have questions about the destination, they're not going to know what a lightning lane is. They're not going to know the difference between the multi pass, the single pass, and the premier pass. They're not going to know the difference of the different resorts, why you should be staying at the contemporary, why you should be staying at All Star Movies. They don't know.
And they don't know then you. Like when you call, you get somebody new, most likely, get somebody new every time.
Mm-hmm,
Versus working with a travel advisor or planning it on your own, you
mm-hmm,
know we know you, we get to know you, and we get to know your preferences and what you like. I have a client for Disney World that is repeat, and they often go to the same restaurants. So when I was able to, he was like, wait, what are some good places to eat? I said, well, I know you like the flying fish. So maybe eating Boathouse. I always down
I
at
think so.
Disney Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Boathouse at Disney Springs could be a good option for you since you really like the flying fish. So things like that, because we're going to get to know you. We're going to remember those things if you come back, or when we talked on the phone in our consultation, like, hey, you really want a convenience, or you were thinking about Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. When it's time for those dates to open up, we're going to remind you, hey, your dining's opening up. This is also the time to book Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. You mentioned that was something you might be interested in. Here's your reminder. Let me know if you want support. Costco's not going to call you up and be like, hey, your 60 days is right around the corner.
Nope.
And this is how you do it. Like, they don't give you, and that's kind of one of my things is Costco, Expedia, Google gets it wrong, Chat
Hmm.
gets it wrong. They're not going to send you tips for your park days. They're not going to send you info about park hours. I send a 1 week email to my clients with all the park hours for their trip, last minute reminders. I link all of their confirmations again just so they have it back on the front, because
Hmm.
some of these people, we booked them over a year ago. Don't ask me where my confirmations are from a year ago. I mean, in my email, they're so buried.
Yeah.
So I put those back in the front. They're not doing that for you. You can't call them up and be like, what's a good restaurant? Or, hey, I saw this on TikTok. What are your thoughts? Because they're like, I don't know. You literally just booked it with me. Or if you book it on your own, you're doing hours of research that we have already done for you and then share that with
Especially
you.
especially if you've never even been to the destination and you're planning
Mhm.
by yourself. The cruise lines, you can probably get away with it. It's pretty straightforward. It's a ship. Like, you're there. Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, even both coasts work different. Like, Walt Disney World and Disneyland are completely different. Universal Hollywood and Universal Hollywood, or Universal Orlando and Universal Hollywood, polar opposite.
Yeah,
They work completely different. If you work with someone who's a travel advisor who specializes in those destinations, they're going to be like, hey, here's what you need to know about Universal Studios. Your payment's going to be due 45 days in advance. Here's the different types of price, or here's the different types of tickets. Here's what I suggest you get. Here's why the reasons why you might need the express pass. Here's the reasons you may not want it. Here's a little bit about the parks, blah, blah. Like, you keep going. Like, hey,
hmm
here's my personal suggestion. I just went in September. Here's what I loved that I think you guys will love. Like, all of those things, because not only are we travel advisors, I mean, we can speak to this because we're in the same agency. Something that our agency really prides on is traveling to the destinations. Or what is it? We know because we go.
hmm
We are at these destinations. I was just at Walt Disney World trying out so many different things between the dining plan, trying staying deluxe at Animal Kingdom Lodge, like all of these things that I want to be able to come back and tell my clients, hey, here's the reason why you should be staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, or the reasons why not. Here, I tried out the dining plan. Here's what I liked about it. Here's what I didn't like about it.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong. For Disney Cruise Line, I mean, we have our activity window based on
Hmm.
your Castaway Key. You have your
Hmm.
online check in.
Yep.
You do get an email that says, hey, your activity window is opening or is open. But isn't it like after the like midnight? You know what I mean? Like they're not going to send you an email that says, hey, your
Hey.
activity window opens at midnight. They're sending you one at 9 o'clock in the morning that says your
F.
activity window opened up, and you're already 7 hours late to the party. I just had a client, she emailed me and she was like, hey, we were going to drive, but flights are actually really cheap. So we're
Oh.
thinking about, but we're going to come in the night before, and then still they're moving their dates. So, but then check in that next day.
Hmm.
She's like, we're thinking about maybe just getting a hotel off property because they really wanted to do the water park because it's during the
Okay.
summer on their check in day. And I was like, okay, that totally fine. Let's look at what our options are. They were planning on using Mears initially to get to the original resort. If you're off property, now you have to find somewhere else, something else to take you. If they have an airport shuttle, maybe. But then to get either back to MCO or get to Disney, you're again looking for something. They need car seats.
Yeah.
She's like, well, maybe Disney Springs. I said, but your Mears doesn't go to Disney Springs hotels. And then you're trying to get to somewhere else. So I said, I looked and I was like, you know what? You can stay at Sports for 204 one night, which is about, I looked at a Disney Springs resort and I think it was like 179. You stay at Sports, you're still going to take Mears. Disney's going to transfer your luggage all for you to get over to Port Orleans. And she was like, okay, let's do that. Do we still get check in because their flight comes in late? Check in day for Port Orleans. I said, yep. You technically have 2 check in days, so you get to do, and now you have all day for the
Mm-hmm.
water park
Yep.
versus whenever you eventually got to your resort. It might be a little bit of a tight squeeze for that All Star Sports because they have 3 kiddos,
Whew.
one's 2, and 2 adults. But
Mm.
for one night, and they're not going to be there very long. So we did that. Had she done, she could have figured it out. Absolutely could have figured it out on her own. I have no doubt.
Good.
She's a very savvy lady, and I love her. But just talking through the options with somebody who kind of knows the ins and outs, and I'm always one, I'm going to push for property, especially Disney World, especially with kiddos and car seats, because car seat business stresses me out. But it's having those conversations, being able to talk through, well, this is what this could look like transportation wise, luggage wise, versus on property versus off property. Google, Costco on your own aren't going to do any of those things for you. Go ahead.
Because again, unless you've been to the destinations, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're relying on, social media and Google and ChatGPT, we've already mentioned that it's going to give you the wrong information. It again, no hate to anyone that works like in the Disney bubble, like customer service. They're also not trained for the destination. Like they just work to book packages. They're not, I mean, I would assume that they're also going to Disney, like going to the destinations and stuff. But even sometimes when we call to modify packages, we know the answer, but sometimes they don't even know the answer. So you just have to be very careful. Like if you're going to work with a professional travel advisor, we literally have yearly training depending on the destination. Like every supplier we work with, we have some kind of update to our training. We are even within our agency, we have agency meetings about, hey, here's the newest update with, Royal Caribbean, whatever. We are constantly being trained on what's happening in the industry, like what can we be doing? Whereas people who work in customer service, that is their role. They are customer service. They're
Mm-hmm.
not the professional travel advisor who is getting the yearly trainings, weekly train, whatever, how often it is. They're not receiving that. I can't tell you how many times I've called Disney. Again, no hate. I love them. They're the best. I love Disney with all of my heart. Clearly. Um, but they've even told me false information when I booked, my rates as a professional travel advisor. I said, "Hey, this is my first time using it. Do I need to make park reservations?" Took a couple minutes for them to give me the answer and they said, "Yes, you need to make them." I was like, "Cool, great." Went to log into the app to make said reservations. It said, "Hey, you don't need to make reservations." And I was like, wait, I was told by someone who works within the company that that's what I was supposed to do. So even you just have to be careful. You need to work with someone who this is their profession. Like, I'm also a teacher by day. I'm not going to go up to like a lawyer and say, hey, what are the strategies that you would use to teach this reading passage to a fourth grader? They're not going to know. I know that because that's what I am trained on. You're not going to go up to a dentist and say, hey, what would happen if I did this to someone? Like, there's a reason we have professions,
Hmm.
is what I'm trying to say.
Another thing, by booking on your own, Costco, Google, whatever, third party, Expedia, if a promo comes out, they're not going to come back to you and be like, hey, promo came out. I already looked and I was able to save you $400. You didn't need to do anything. I sat on the phone. I got up early, whatever the case may be, and I was able to get this adjusted for you. They don't care. And even booking on your own, maybe like Brianna said, what you don't know what you don't know. So you may not know. You can call in yourself if you book directly with Disney to say, "Hey, I noticed a promo come out came out. Can I apply it?"
Mm-hmm.
And they will check for you
Yeah.
and determine if it applies. But you're not going to be able to do that with Costco because, like you said, most of the time it's non-refundable, non-changeable. You can't modify it. Working directly with, whether you book it on your own or with a travel advisor, those promos are sometimes gold. And why we always say book early, because either you booked early, you got the room you wanted, and you got a great price. You booked early, you got the room you wanted. A promo came out and we were able to apply it. You booked early, you got the room you wanted. Promo came out, your rate was the best. But we're doing that for you. You don't even have to ask us. We're watching, we're living in this Disney bubble world. Universal. I did it with a Universal client too, because they've been coming out with a few more promos lately to where I can be like, hey, I've already checked. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the best promo.
Yep.
Don't worry about it. And then usually they're like, great. Sounds good. Thanks. And we move on with our day. But they didn't have to do anything because we were already doing that.
I will say, and I'm just going to speak to both of us because obviously we've known each other for a while. We both work in the same agency. We have the same expectations of, what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to be very careful with how I say this. And I don't mean any shade to any other travel advisor. Please be cautious in who you decide to choose as your travel advisor. Not everyone works the exact same way. There are advisors out there who will book your trip and then not talk to you. It's happened. You need to find someone, you need to interview them. When you are emailing a travel advisor, you need to get on the phone with them. This is why a consultation call is a non negotiable for me. I will not do anything until I have gotten you on the phone and we have talked about it because you're you're investing thousands of dollars into your vacation. I am going to treat your vacation like it's my own. I want to know you. I'm not going to book the trip and be like, all right, good luck to you. Like, you have to interview the person you are going to invest your thousands of dollars with. You need to make sure that what you were wanting out of your vacation, that your travel advisor is going to be able to help you with that. If not, find someone else. There is going to be a travel advisor for you that is going to work with what your like what is your expectations. Granted, obviously, I mean there's only so much we can do. So let me preface by saying that we can't do everything, so just kind of keep that in mind. I've had that happen where I'm like, I literally cannot make that happen. I don't know what you want from me. That will never be possible. It doesn't matter who you work with. So you need to interview who you are going to work with. Again, I'm not, like I said, I'm not throwing shade to anyone. I'm just trying to let you know, don't just settle on someone because they randomly popped up on social media. Why are you working with them? Why? Do you enjoy their personality? Do you really like the way they present themselves? Do you really like the recommendations? Do you like the personalization of your vacation? What? Or are you just looking to get onboard credit or just some kind of promotion? There are people out there who do that, but there are caveats. If that's what you're looking for, there's a potential trade-off that you may not get a lot of services, because if we're offering onboard credit, it's coming directly out of our own commission, the money that we're supposed to make to provide the services to you. So just kind of keep it in mind. Like I said, again, I feel like I have to say it like 10 times because there will be someone that's like, but you said interview your person. Are you going to want to spend several months, if not a year, however long you're booking out? Are your personalities going to clash? Are you guys going to be able to communicate and get what you want out of this vacation? You won't know until you interview.
To tag onto that, I know I always put in my okay, hang on. The today I've noticed like bingers on my videos. Great. Love that. Watch it all because I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting it all I'm putting it out there. Not all of it, but most some good stuff. And they'll like a series of videos. Thank you. Like first off, thank you. I appreciate the support. That means, you like my content. I'm
Mm-hmm.
being helpful. But I do my series and then my last video, I say find a travel advisor that you know, like, and trust that can help you with all the things. And if we have resonated and you would like my support, then reach out. I'll put my email, blah, blah, blah. I know I am not the right fit for everybody, and that's okay. So, yeah, I prefer you to binge and know, know my personality and feel comfortable with me
Mm-hmm.
to reach out because that means the world to me. But yes, find somebody that you know, you like, and you trust and ask them. Like you said, interview them, connect with them, ask them the questions, not just, are you going to give me the onboard credit? That, no, it's work. How do you communicate? What what support will you give me through the planning process? Will you still be there when I travel? Like things like that. Like I want you to know that you're getting what you're getting when you're working with me and you're hiring me more or less to support you with your vacation. But it's not always monetary.
Something else, kind of along the same conversation, like we said, it's very important that you interview your travel advisor and, figure out if you work together. Personally, in my quote form, I'm pretty sure I still have it. I put, are you working with someone else? Are you jumping around trying to find your travel advisor? Please do so. But for the most part, every single travel advisor is going to have the exact same rates no matter who you go to. Some people are going to offer onboard credit because it's going to come out of their own commission. They may have, depending on their agency, they may have things available. Like, so we're very cautious. If you are working with someone else or looking for someone else, we don't want to step on someone else's toes. That, I wouldn't want to book someone's trip and then turn around and be like, find out, oh, hey, I was supposed to be working with this, but like I heard you're not working with this person. I was supposed to be working with them. It doesn't feel good to anyone. If you are looking for your advisor, please, like, at least let us know, hey, I am looking for an advisor. It's not you. I'm just trying to figure out like what works for me. If you're looking for the best deal, who can offer the best onboard credit, you do you. Personally, that's not going to be a good fit for me. That's not something that I am going to offer. I am not in a position to sacrifice my own income and provide the exact same services because, like I said, I am going to treat your vacation like my own, but I also deserve to be compensated for all of my work. So I'm not going to sacrifice money that I have earned, that I have, done the work for, and then provide the same level of communication, guides, emails, all the work essentially for nothing. I That will not happen for me. I'm sorry. But there will be a travel advisor out there who will do that for you. You have to research. There's thousands of us, thousands. you will find one that you mesh with.
Yep, yep, absolutely. So, the benefits of working with a travel advisor, whether it's us or finding, like we just talked about, finding one that you know that you are comfortable working with, because it is an investment. Your vacation is an investment, and we are going to have a fairly close relationship. So you want somebody that you're going to like. The support that we could, that a provider, or yeah, not a provider, the support that an advisor could give you for your vacation. And not all are created equally. There's great advisors out there. There's not so great advisors. It's like any profession. You have
Yeah,
great dentists, you have not so great dentists.
I've had
Um,
good teachers and bad teachers. I had to throw that in there.
so finding one that you work well with, that you trust them to support you in your vacation, because you are spending lots of money on this vacation. So but they should be able to support you, help you with your resort choice, give you advice on your vacation, answer any questions. They're going to know your vacation versus Costco, Google, chat. The chat knows me so well. Don't know you like an advisor is going to know your vacation and be able to support you in the same way that an advisor will. So, with all that being said, if you would like to work with us for your vacation, if we have resonated, let me say my spiel. If we one of us have resonated tonight, and you would like our support, then we'll put our emails in the caption. You can reach out, follow us on all the socials. Um, we would love to connect. And if neither one of us do, we have plenty of lovely agents that we work with that we'd be happy to connect you with somebody too, to find the right fit for you. Make sure to subscribe, follow wherever you're watching, listening to this, and we hope to see you real soon. That's it for this episode, Vacation Dreamers. We hope you picked up some tips, ideas, and a little extra magic for your next adventure. If you enjoyed hanging out with us, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also find us on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts for even more travel tips and updates. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep planning, and we'll see you real soon.